This video is designed to help you start a money lending business. At the end of the video, you'll find a valuable gift. It's a money lending business plan that you can download, and will lay down for you, step by step, everything you need to know to start a successful money lending business of your own. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. The first thing you need to do is lay the groundwork. This means engaging in the planning required to understand how your business will be organized and how you will run it. Items to consider during the planning process include the following: your borrowers. Who are your prospective borrowers? Will you lend to small businesses in the US or globally? Will you lend to individuals? What is your target audience when it comes to lending? Will you need to check credit scores or financial statements? Your capital. In addition to identifying who will borrow money, you will also need to identify where that money will come from. Will you use a pool of startup funds, or will you regularly solicit investors or peer-to-peer lenders? What are your needs for working capital? A description of your services. Take time to draft a description of exactly what service you offer. For example, you may want to include who you plan on lending to, how prospective borrowers will qualify, what loan amounts you will offer, what your financing options and repayment terms are, and so on. Interest rates. Because your lending business needs to make money, you need to charge interest on the loans you offer. Develop a method for determining loan interest rates, based on borrower's financial history, the size of the loan, and the repayment period, as well as your company's overhead, expenses, and desired profit. Higher interest rates are best for high-risk borrowers, and lower interest rates for low-risk borrowers, but there may be state and federal limits to what you can charge. Lending capacity. You will need to determine how much you can lend at any given time. This might be a fixed amount based on your startup capital, or you might develop rules for determining how much to lend at once, based on fluctuating finances. You should also consider the number of loans you want to service at a given time, since that will affect your workload. Your business expenses. Estimate how much money you need to get started, along with how much you will need to keep running. Borrower agreements. When you lend money, the borrowers will need to sign an agreement with you, describing how to repay the funds. You will need to draft your own borrower agreement, or find templates that you can modify. Lending practices and laws. Make sure you are familiar with federal, state, and local lending laws pertaining to money lending, so that your company maintains compliance and you avoid potential litigation. Business plan. Draft a business plan to help clarify your goals, and how you will go about running your company. Business plans help you focus on important business details, and are vital if you will be seeking funding from investors. Legalities, marketing, and getting started. After you're done with the basic planning, it's time to tackle legal paperwork, marketing, and prepare to open your doors, and keep them open. Legal paperwork. The exact paperwork needed to legally form your company varies based on which state and city you live in. Local information can often be found on your Secretary of State's website, which often contains links to business registration requirements, documents, and instructions. The below list describes the typical process. Decide on a business structure. Business structure options include sole proprietorship, partnership, limited liability company, LLC, corporation, or S-corporation. Each structure comes with different requirements and tax obligations. If the primary goal of your loan program is helping others, you might want to register as a nonprofit corporation. Note that the designation you choose may put a limit on which types of investors can invest in your company. Take some time to research the implications of each structure so that you can make an informed choice. Choose a business name. If you will be running your company using any name other than your personal legal name, you will need to register the name when you register your business. Often, your Secretary of State's business website will have a searchable database of business names currently in use, so that you can make sure the name you choose is unique. Marketing. After all of the legalities and paperwork are taken care of, you can turn your attention toward finding prospective borrowers and lenders, if you are pairing borrowers with lenders. Marketing plans can look different for every company, but the following are a few ideas to get you started. Website. Not only is it a good idea to have an online landing page, where prospective borrowers can find you, but you may also want to include features that enable borrowers to apply online or download paperwork. Social media. Creating a page for your company on multiple social media platforms can help you connect with more people. Branding. Hire a designer to help create a logo for your company. Branding helps customers recognize you more easily, and helps your business appear more professional. Advertisements. Consider advertising your services through social media, newspapers, radio, and more. If you plan on lending to customers across the country or around the globe, you might choose to purchase online ads that will reach your target audience. Cold calling, or emailing. You can directly contact prospective borrowers and lenders with a phone call or email. If they are local, you might even stop by in person and leave a business card. Consider connecting with your local Small Business Administration, SBA, if you plan on offering small business loans. Reviews. When you've handled your first few happy customers, ask them to leave you a review online, or provide you with a quote describing their experience. Many prospective customers make their decisions as to which company to work with, based on the reviews of others. The next part of the video is not specific to the money lending business. Nevertheless, this knowledge is essential for success in the money lending business, as well as in any other business. Ignore it at your own peril. Operating a successful money lending business will depend on the following 4 conventions. 1. A practical plan, with a solid foundation. 2. Dedication, and willingness to sacrifice, to reach your goal. 3. Technical skills. 4. Basic knowledge of management, finance, record keeping and market analysis. As a new owner, you will need to master these skills and techniques if your business is to be successful. Finding a niche. Small businesses range in size from a manufacturer, with many employees, and millions of dollars in equipment, to the lone window washer, with a bucket and a sponge. Obviously, the knowledge and skills required for these 2 extremes are far apart, but for success they have one thing in common. Each has found a business niche, and is filling it. The most critical problems you will face, in your early planning, will be to find your niche, and determine the feasibility of your idea. Get into the right business at the right time, is very good advice, but following that advice may be difficult. Many entrepreneurs plunge into a business venture, so blinded by the dream, that they fail to thoroughly evaluate its potential. Is your business idea feasible? Before you invest time, effort, and money, the following exercise will help you separate sound ideas from those bearing a high potential for failure. Identify and briefly describe the business you plan to start. Identify the product or service you plan to sell. Answering yes to any of the following 3 questions means you are on the right track. A negative answer to all of them means the road ahead could be rough. 1. Does your product or service satisfy an unfilled need? 2. Will your product or service serve an existing market in which demand exceeds supply? 3. Will your product or service be competitive based on its quality, selection, price, or location? Market analysis. For a small business to be successful, the owner must know the market. To learn the market, you must analyze it, a process that takes time and effort. You don't have to be a trained statistician to analyze the marketplace, nor does the analysis have to be costly. Analyzing the market is a way to gather facts about potential customers, and to determine the demand for your product or service. The more information you gather, the greater your chances of capturing a segment of the market. Know the market before investing your time and money in any business venture. The following questions will help you collect the information necessary to analyze your market, and determine if your product or service will sell. This brief exercise will give you a good idea of the kind of market planning you need to do. An answer of no to any of the questions indicates a weakness in your plan, so do your research until you can answer each question with a yes. 1. Do you know who your customers will be? 2. Do you understand their needs and desires? 3. Do you know where they live? 4. Will you be offering the kind of products or services that they will buy? 5. Will your prices be competitive in quality and value? 6. Will your promotional program be effective? 7. Do you understand how your business compares with your competitors? 8. Will your business be conveniently located for the people you plan to serve? 9. Will there be adequate parking facilities for the people you plan to serve? Planning your startup. The following questions are grouped according to function. They are designed to help you prepare for opening day. Merchandise. Have you decided what items you will sell or produce, or what services you will provide? Have you made a merchandise plan, based upon estimated sales, to determine the amount of inventory you will need to control purchases? Have you found reliable suppliers, who will assist you in the startup? Have you compared the prices, quality, and credit terms of suppliers? Business records. Are you prepared to maintain complete records of sales, income and expenses, accounts payable, and receivables? Have you determined how to handle payroll records, tax reports, and payments? Do you know what financial reports should be prepared, and how to prepare them? Finances. A large number of small businesses fail each year. There are a number of reasons for these failures, but one of the main reasons is insufficient funds. Too many entrepreneurs try to start and operate a business without sufficient capital, money. To avoid this dilemma, you can review your situation by analyzing the following 3 questions. 1. How much money do you have? 2. How much money will you need to start your business? 3. How much money will you need to stay in business? In order to answer the second question, how much money will you need to start your business? You need to prepare an estimate of all your startup costs. Here is a list of items you may need to take into account. Note that this list is for a retail business. Items will vary for service, construction, manufacturing or online firms. Decorating and remodeling, fixtures and equipment, installing fixtures and equipment, services and supplies, beginning inventory cost, legal, professional fees, licenses and permits, telephone utility deposits, insurance, signs, advertising for opening, unanticipated expenses. Now, the answer to the third question, how much money will you need to stay in business? Must be divided into 2 parts, immediate costs, and future costs. From the moment the door to your new business opens, a certain amount of income may come in. However, this income should not be projected in your operating expenses. You will need enough money available to cover costs for at least the first 3 months of operation. The following list will help you project your operating expenses on a monthly basis. Typical expenses for 1 month may include your living costs, employee wages, rent, advertising, supplies, utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, delivery, transportation, miscellaneous. Now sum up the total estimated monthly expenses and multiply it by 3. This is the amount of cash you will need to cover operating expenses for 3 months. Deposit this amount in a savings account before opening your business. Use it only for those purposes listed in the above list, because this money will ensure that you will be able to continue in business during the crucial early stages. By adding the total startup costs to the total expenses for 3 months, you can learn what the estimated costs will be to start and operate your business for 3 months. By subtracting the totals of the lists from the cash available, you can determine the amount of additional financing you may need, if any. Now you will need to estimate your operating expenses for the first year after startup. The first step in determining your annual expenses is to estimate your sales volume, month by month. Next, determine the cost of sales. You may want to use a spreadsheet to do this. After startup, the primary source of revenue in your business will be from sales, but your sales will vary from month to month because of seasonal patterns and other factors. It is important to determine if your monthly sales will produce enough income to pay each month's bills. An estimated cash flow projection will show if the monthly cash balance is going to be subject to such factors as the following: failure to recognize seasonal trends, excessive cash taken from the business for living expenses, too rapid expansion, and slow collection of accounts if credit is extended to customers. Conclusion: if you have carefully answered all the questions in this video, you have seriously thought about your goal. However, there may be some things you may feel you need to know more about. Owning and running a money lending business is a continuous learning process. Research your idea, and do as much as you can, yourself, but don't hesitate to seek help from people who can tell you what you need to know. As we conclude this video, it's time you get your free money lending business plan gift. Go to the description below this video to get it now. It is completely free, no strings attached. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this.